Okay, so you're gonna notice a trend with mine.
Junji Ito.
Actually, yes, but not all of them are.
Actually, yes.
Ooh.
All of them are. The trend with mine is that all of them are
They're
manga.
all manga? Oh,
Okay,
let me get
all
ready
right.
for
So,
this. Sorry.
so my number five. So why it's number five is because there technically is a movie of it already, but it's not
Uzumaki.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah!
Yep, 100%. I just finished reading Uzumaki not that long ago.
Isn't it good?
Yes, it is so good. It is the body horror that they achieve in Uzumaki is unreal. Like I legitimately do not know how Junji Ito for one thing thinks of the body. Like there's one that happens really early on where it's like and it literally starts everything where like uh the main character's boyfriend's father starts getting really obsessed with spirals.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that by the end of his story he makes himself into one.
Okay.
And they literally like open up like a pot or whatever, and you just see him like literally like it's not just like him like curled up, like he's literally like a full spiral, and it's his whole body. You see his face like all dead and like stretched, and
Holy shit.
Well,
it,
they do something really
it
cool with that too, and that's like a kid gets hit while he's riding his bike by a car, and he ends up underneath the wheels, and he inadvertently is in that shape of the spiral
yeah
around the wheel. And that's before everything starts really going crazy, if I remember correctly. And that was the
yeah
beginning for me of how things are getting really, really, really weird.
and it starts like relatively normal and relatively like normal Junji Ito, but then as the chapters go on, like it just pun I guess intended, it spirals so out of control, and it's literally only like the only point of horror that they focus on is the spiral, like
Mhm.
just that shape
Mm-hmm.
and just how much you could do with it, and it's so strange.
Well, yeah, there's nothing they can do about it. It just takes over
Yeah.
that town over and over and over and over and over again.
So my number four is a manga called Inside Mari.
Mm-hmm.
Never
So
heard of this.
so it takes the premise of like a body swap like thing, and it's between a college like shut-in, not even college because he dropped out, but like like a 20 something year old shut-in and a high school girl that he's in love with.
Mm-hmm.
And the high school girl wakes up one morning and it's now the shut-in, and the first mystery that they need to solve is, okay, so is she in my body? And then the horror that they face when she's not.
Ooh.
So then the whole thing kind of becomes then, well, then where is she? Like, where is her, like, essentially her, like, brain, her soul, I guess. And it starts going through all these twists and turns, and even just the horror of it's not presented as like a super horror. It's presented more as like a drama, but it still has horror like ish themes. It just has like a feeling of dread throughout. Where it's like he has to all of a sudden like live her life, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know who my friends are. I don't know any. And then when he does find out, it's like, I don't know anything about them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do I even begin to fit in if I don't know anything about them? And then it's also like, I need to get dressed. And he's like, I don't want to be
Oh,
that
okay.
scum to like
Okay.
see her
Yeah.
naked. And then through all the twists and turns, it has like a very interesting ending that I don't want to spoil for anyone
Gotcha.
who wants to read the
Gotcha.
manga.
Not your case of a typical horror. I could tell you that.
No, it's more psychological.
Tre.
Okay, my numero tres is also known as The Flowers of Evil.
Uh-huh.
Same author as Inside Mari. So Akunohara is there's actually an anime, but it's really weirdly animated. Also, they only did half of it because it didn't get picked up for a second season. But I read the entire manga, and essentially the premise is this boy who is not a very smart human, all things considered, because this is going to sound really weird, accidentally steals the popular girl's gym clothes.
Oh.
And the reason why it was an accident is because he was in the classroom, like doing like he like got in trouble for something. He had to do like classroom duty, like cleaning, whatever. And he saw that she left the gym clothes there, and he was like looking at them. And then someone started to come, and he's being the genius that he is. He's like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, and like puts it in his bag and like runs home.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, why did I take this home? What is going on? So, you know, it starts to get out that there was a pervert that stole someone's gym clothes. And then the rumors start, and then only one girl knows that he did it.
Yeah.
And she uses this opportunity to essentially blackmail him into the fucking earth. And the entire manga is like their relationship and how much she like essentially damages him.
Mm-hmm.
Like she breaks him mentally to the point where at one point during the manga, and this is like one of the climaxes, they go to a festival just to publicly on TV burn themselves alive.
What? What?
Oh, now I'm intrigued.
It spirals into that. Yeah. It spirals into them being that crazy because the explanation is she obviously has like issues, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because she gets any joy in humiliating someone. It's not because she gets off on like just having him do whatever she says. It's literally just because she is so bored that she has nothing better to do, and this is how she chooses to use her time.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked.
And just the mentality is very
Is the book from her
interesting.
POV?
The book is from
Okay,
his
good.
POV.
I was like, it can't be from hers.
No, she is like the secondary, almost antagonist character. This one and the number one spot were like so fucking close to each other that like it was really hard to decide.
Mm-hmm.
So my number two spot is Chi no Watachi. English name is Trail of Blood. So it's a same author as Akunohara. So the premise of this story is, and so like this kid has like a very overprotective mom, and you know it kind of shows like their relationship that like you know he's not really super allowed to like do much, but like the things that he can do, he's like, all right, I can hang out with my friends, but you know like she is very overprotective of him. And then about 7 or so chapters into the manga, him and his family, like his aunt and his cousins, come with him. They go on a camping trip, and they go for a hike, and the main character's cousin starts like messing around by a cliff, and then he almost trips off the cliff, and the main character's mom catches him, and then she smiles at him, throws him off the cliff.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, this one!
And essentially, from that point on, and let me say, having that happen 7
Yeah.
makes it work so much harder.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, like, everything up to that point was, like, you know, is a little, like, all right, this lady is very overprotective. Like, I'm getting kind of creepy vibes off her. And then she does that.
Yeah.
And they imply that she does it because he like pretended to like push the main character off the cliff, and then when she panicked, like the rest of the family like kind of made fun of her. The rest of the manga, the main character's mom and how she manipulates him into literally becoming just like a mama's boy, and then he becomes just like her.
Really?
Becoming like kind of sociopathic and very dependent upon the other.
Mm.
And it's so disturbing seeing the degradation of what used to be a normal teenage boy into like essentially almost a baby.
Yeah.
And like, and you think at one point the main character gets like a girlfriend, and you are like almost convinced the entire time that like the mom is going to straight up murder her.
Yeah.
Murder her.
Now that's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Like it's so it is his best story by far.
Now, this story always intrigued me just from the premise alone. You know, her pushing him off a cliff and everything like that. I was intrigued by this. This is definitely one that I want to read.
Okay, so my actual number one pick is a Junji Ito story.
Oh.
And I don't know if I would adapt it like verbatim, but like just the idea of it, it's literally legitimately the most terrifying thing I've ever heard. Is my favorite Junji Ito story, The Long Dream.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the premise, the Long Dream starts out with a girl like in the hospital screaming for her life, and essentially it's established that she has an intense fear of death, and it's being mega like brought on because she does have like a terminal illness essentially.
Okay.
So she knows she's gonna die, and she has an intense fear of dying. So she starts screaming about how like a Grim Reaper has been visiting her, and it then shifts gears to the doctors that are in charge of her, and they're like, "That's not a Grim Reaper. I know what she's talking about." And it's this other patient who at first came in and was saying like, "My dreams feel very long," and like he says like it started out and it started like he would go to sleep and he would dream and it would feel like an entire day has passed, but and then he would just wake up in his bed, and then it got to the point where when he went to the doctor it felt like he was living like 2 weeks, but it was just a dream.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it fast forwards to the point, like to present day, to the point where his dreams feel like literal centuries. And then he'll just wake up. And his body starts to like weirdly deteriorate, almost like all of the days that he has lived is actually affecting his body. Hence why she thinks that he's like the Grim Reaper. And then they start toying with the idea of like, what if he has a dream that never ends? And what would happen? So eventually, the man ends up like turning to dust essentially, and the doctors theorize it's like, I guess he's having the eternal dream essentially.
Yeah.
And what they find in his dust is that there were these little crystals where his brain would be. And the doctor theorizes that maybe this was the cause of the long dreams. So being the great doctor that he is, he put it in the girl's coffee because he's like, even though her body will pass, her fear of death will be quelled because now she may live an eternal dream. So in her mind, she'll live forever.
That's fucked.
It is fucked. And the most fucked thing about it is that it's not very, like, the story doesn't make it clear if that is even true.
Oh, I love that.
Like, there's no, like, thing, like, the only confirmation that you get that, like, the man is having a long dream is just a theory that the doctor may have. Like, there's nothing in the story that concretely says that that's true.
Yeah.
All that we know is that he put the weird crystals in the girl's drink, and she starts saying that she feels like she's been having longer dreams.
I don't think that would be a good feature film, though.
No, it would be a much better short film. But that's why I said, like, I don't know if like a feature film would really work unless we like use the premise
If he
and
did
play
like
with
a
it more.
Junji Ito miniseries.
Yeah.
Every episode's kind of like a Twilight Zone kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, they did that. Well, like they even did The Long Dream in the collection. Yeah, it wasn't as good. But it would definitely make for a really good short film, and just the premise behind it is like imagine, like I've always had like this thought, right? Is like what if like you woke up one day and all of a sudden you were where you were like 5 years ago, and you have to accept that the last 5 years of your life just didn't happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That could be a blessing or a curse all at once.
And like all the people that you met within those 5 years, you have to question if they even are real.